everybody. Welcome to Writing and Grammar. I bet you wrote some really great sentences yesterday after listening to me about writing. Today, we're going to quickly go through the things that we've learned again because you need to know the definition. You need to know how to find them in sentences, and then you need to apply them to really good writing. All right? So remember, a noun is a person, animal, place, or thing in a sentence. It is not capitalized. We've also learned that a proper noun is a specific noun, and it is always capitalized, like months of the year, days of the week, holidays, people's first name, middle name, last name, names of places like Disneyland. So those are your very specific proper nouns, and all of your other nouns some of them are called common nouns. They're not capitalized. We've learned that a verb is the action in a sentence, and we've learned that an adjective always describes a noun with color, size, shape, how many, the five senses, touch, smell. All right? And those are so far what we've worked on. We've also worked on the pronouns, but I'll go into that again later on. But by this time, you should identify all of these, and you should be able to write really good sentences. Now, remember what I'm saying. The holes are on the left. The date goes on the top. Do you see over here on the right side next to that margin? I always skip a line, and then I switched the page by hitting it there. All right. I write from margin to margin. And if you notice, I have a little bit left over there because I couldn't fit this whole word right there. So I dropped down on my second line right up against the margin, and I wrote and I ended my sentence. Now let's look at all those parts of a sentence. The very first thing I think to myself is, do I have a subject? And I'm going through this so much because we still have children not doing everything. You're doing a great job just getting started on it, but I gave you the checklist. Now there's a word wall that you can go to for words where you struggle to spell them, and I'll keep on adding words to them. They're all alphabetical. And you need to know all these parts. And what is a complete thought? It's one thought. It's one idea. It's not 40. It's one. All right, so I'm going to first look at my subject, and I'm going to say, the little pumpkins danced around the ancient graveyard. Okay, I know my whole sentence is about the little pumpkins. All right, so this is my subject. Now what I'm thinking to myself is, what are the pumpkins doing? Well, dance is my root word, so I could have dance, dances, dancing, danced. Because it has the ED on the end of it, I know it's in the past, danced, okay? Now I know that everything following that should be my predicate, and that's my whos, my whens, my wheres, my whys, my hows. And that's what makes a sentence really good. And I don't do this. The little pumpkins danced around the ancient graveyard, and then they went to eat, and then they saw a skeleton, and then they picked up some. Did you hear that? Because I need to stop at a complete thought. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask myself, do I have my capital? Do I have a punctuation mark? All right? You cannot have a sentence without them. You can't. It must tell the reader where you're starting with a capital letter, and it must tell the reader where to stop and take a breath and think about one thought. Then what I do is I find my nouns. So I know pumpkins are things. I know a graveyard is a place. Now I think to myself, all right, they're little pumpkins. They could be orange pumpkins. They could be the 10 pumpkins. They could be the rotten pumpkins. All right. Then I go and I say, what kind of graveyard is it? It's a very old graveyard if it's ancient. Then I read it to somebody. The little pumpkins danced around the ancient graveyard. Beautiful. Moving on. Moxie and Robbie played in in little pool after school today. Did you hear that? Did you hear it? All right, there's a word missing automatically. Right there. Right there. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a caret, and I left out the word the. So that sentence is not a good sentence. So I put that in right away. Moxie and Robbie played in the little pool after school today. Now I like it. All right, so now I'm going to look at for my subject, which is Moxie and Robbie. They are who is doing something. What are they doing? They are playing. They played, past tense. Where did they play? In the little pool. When did they play? After school today. All right. That's all my predicate right there. Predicate. So subject, predicate, verb always starts your predicate, the action. And then the when, the where, the why, the how, how did they do it? When did they do it? Now what I do is I go, okay, I want to look for my capital letter. Now I'm going to look for a few capital letters here because Moxie is at the beginning of the sentence, but it's also a proper noun. Robbie is in the beginning of the sentence, but it is capitalized because Robbie is a proper noun. All right, so I look for that. Did I capitalize those specific names in my sentence? Now what I do is I go and I say, okay, where are my nouns? Well, a pool, a school. All right. All right. So then I look and I say, okay, I described the pool because it's a little pool. It's not a big pool. All right. But I didn't do one for in front of school. Moxie and Robbie played in the little pool after school today. I don't want to add one there. This is a really good sentence. So I'm done. I read it to somebody. I'm done. All right. The last one, the creepy monster lumbered through the forest. Whoa, that is an awesome verb. Okay, so the creepy monster is my subject. Lumbered means to move slowly and heavily and, with a lot of weight, like Frankenstein. So that is a beautiful verb. And those are called like your fantastic verbs or your high dollar verbs, because those are the verbs that are like third or fourth grade. That's when you really go, you know what? I don't want to just say walked. I want to show people how he moves. All right. Now, where is he lumbering through the forest? All right. Now what I do is I check those capitals. Yes. Punctuation. Yes. So I got it. I don't have any proper nouns in that sentence. And at this point, what I do is I say, okay, where's those nouns? Well, the monster's one and the forest is one. Creepy describes the monster. All right. I could have said the small monster. I could have said the gigantic monster. I could have said the green monster. Be careful with your adjectives because they have to make sense. Now look at forest. It doesn't have one. So the creepy monster lumbered through the forest. Well, you know what? I could put that caret there and I could say spooky. Okay. Make the sentence a little bit better there. All right. And I don't need a capital right there. This is wrong. That's going to be a lowercase. Okay. So now I'm going to read it. The creepy monster lumbered through the spooky forest. See how much better that is? All right, ladies and gentlemen, do a really good job writing those sentences. Use that checklist. Make sure it's one thought. Capitals, punctuation, it has a clear subject. It has a great verb and a predicate following it that gives you those hows and whens and wheres. And don't forget to add the adjectives so that it paints that picture in your reader's mind.